James Kaufman, World News Report today. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had the second M-class solar flare in over 7 days. Only the second M-class solar flare in over 7 days. This was basically Earth-directed. It came from a beta-gamma sunspot group. It's going to be 4217. AR 4217. It was an M1.09, not a very powerful solar flare, peaking at around 10:36 UTC time, which would be about 3:36 last night Central Time here in the U.S. All right, and looking at some detailed information, it looks like it actually peaked at 10:34 instead of 10:36. It did come from a beta-gamma region, the only beta-gamma region on our star. There's 11 total sunspot groups on the star currently, so we're seeing very little activity based on 11 sunspot groups Earth-facing. We only had a 1% chance of having an X-class solar flare today. That was probably only from 4217. We only had a 35% chance of seeing an M-class solar flare. Luckily, that ship has sailed. And we have been maintaining a C-class baseline for the last several months. Taking a look at Gong and tensogram, we can see those 11 sunspot groups I spoke of. 4217 right here, being the one that just produced the M1.09 solar flare, and the only semi-complex sunspot on the Earth-facing side of our sun. Again, that's going to be a beta-gamma sunspot group, while the others are simple sunspot groups or areas. Taking a look at LASCO C3, we have a ton of time missing right when that explosion occurs. 2.5 hours right there. And it will be just before, just as the explosion occurs. It looks like it did, in fact, send a coronal mass ejection south of Earth. It does look that way. You can see it spreading out there. So it looks like they killed LASCO right as this occurred. It looks like an awful large coronal mass ejection for what we saw, the M1. We'll take a look at the back of the star because this very well could be a backside eruption instead and just coincidental. Well, the timing is perfect. Finally, over to our D region absorption prediction center, and see that inflow peaked about 11:35, as we assumed it did. It's like we had X-ray coverage of a lot of Africa and some of the Atlantic Ocean. We did not see a lot of radio alternation. We'll check the backside real quick. With that said, there are some backside sunspots, so it's going to be hard to tell until they actually get with us whether that coronal mass ejection was lifted from that sunspot M.109, one of these larger flares on the backside. So you can see we have 024 in this way, probably already named right here. Of 025 in blue in this way, 026 up here, 028 here, I guess 027 is deteriorated, 028 down here, and we have a new one, 029. You can kind of get a good idea of how potent they are down here. It's like 025 is really potent. And the two sunspots trailing it, 029 and 028 in orange and red, also look fairly potent down here. With that said, again, very hard to tell if the coronal mass ejection was headed this way, although the timing was perfect. If so, it was a fairly large coronal mass ejection for such a small solar flare. We had a M1.09 at 10:36, 3:36 Central here in the U.S. That's the only activity we've seen all day long. Only the second M flare in 10 days. And again, that came from AR 4217, a beta gamma sunspot group. God bless, share, subscribe, and always remember anything's possible. Bizarro world.